Before us is the monument of the Battle of Plassey. The battle which sealed the fate of the Bengal Nawabs and made Robert Clive the uncrowned emperor of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. With the passage of time, except the banyan tree, all signs of the great battle are lost. But in the memories of the local people, as well as in the pages of history, the political transition around the Battle of Plassey is very much alive. Aurangzeb's death in 1707 signaled the disintegration of the Mughal Empire. Among the various regional states that came up, Bengal emerged as an independent state under Murshid Quli Khan. Murshid Quli, known for his efficiency in revenue administration, rose from the position of Diwan to Subedar or governor of Bengal. He shifted his capital from Dhaka to Muqsudabad around 1705 AD.
ये जो मुर्शिदाबाद का जो शुरुआत हुआ ये मुर्शिद कुली खां से हुआ और 1704 में जब मुर्शिद कुली खां आए थे तभी से शुरू हुआ था। तो मुर्शिद कुली खां के बाद
Murshidabad's close proximity to Qasim Bazar, the chief emporium of the Gangetic trade, might have influenced Murshid Quli to make Murshidabad capital of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. Palaces, public office and religious institutions gradually flourished in the new capital. However, except Katra Mosque, other monuments built during Murshid Quli's reign failed to survive. This Katra Mosque is standing on a 54-meter high square plinth. This brick-built mosque is surrounded by a row of double-storied dome cells. Four huge minars were built at four corners. Out of this, only two are now surviving. The mosque is approachable by a flight of 14 steps from the east. Below the steps of the mosque is lying the mortal remain of Murshid Quli Khan. Some of the roofless halls attached to the mosque were used as madrasa. Nawab's independent rule in Murshidabad was of about 50 years only. Most prominent among the Nawabs were Murshid Quli Khan, Alivardi Khan and Siraj-ud-Dawla. Even this short span of the Nawabi rule witnessed many threats from outside, like the Maratha invasion during Alivardi's time, the attack by the English East India Company during Siraj-ud-Dawla's reign. Apart from the external threat, undercurrents of conspiracy and factionalism within the Nawab's court further weakened the strength of the Bengal Nawabs. This was the time when the English East India Company was trying to consolidate its foothold in Bengal. In Bengal, the English East India Company first established its factory at Hooghly. From Hooghly, they then moved on to Calcutta. Job Chanak, the agent of the English East India Company, got permission from the Mughal Emperor to take 3 villages, Sutanati, Kolkata and Govindapur, on payment of rupees 1200 annually to the local zamindar. Kolkata's proximity to the river route and local weavers and traders who were already trading from this area influenced Chanak to make Kolkata the center of the expanding British Empire. With the permission of the Mughal Emperor, the East India Company built Fort William at Kolkata to protect the company business. However, growing commercial interest of the company, particularly the misuse of trading privileges by the company officials, strained the relations between the company and the Nawabs. Getting no response to his complaints against misuse of trade privileges, Siraj-ud-Daulah, in a surprise move, attacked the Fort William in 1756. However, Kolkata was quickly recaptured by the British, sending more troops from Chennai under Colonel Robert Clive. But unfortunately, inside the Nawab's court at Murshidabad, conspiracy to dethrone Siraj-ud-Daulah was going on. Khasiti Begum, Mir Jafar, along with the merchants like Jagat Seth and Omi Chand, conspired with the East India Company officials. Unaware of this conspiracy, Siraj-ud-Daulah, with the help of French company at Chandanagar, wanted to fight back against the British. The battle, which took place in the field of Plassey in June 1757, was easily won by the British. The heroic sacrifices of Nawab soldiers like Mohan Lal and Mir Madan failed before the conspiracy of Mir Jafar and others. Siraj was deposed and assassinated. Mir Jafar was made the Nawab of Bengal by the English East India Company. Between 1757 and 1765, nothing could be done to protect a succession of Nawabs from ruthless demands of concessions. Nawab Mir Qasim made a last effort to come out of the clutch of the company officials, but lost the Battle of Boxer to the company in 1764. The military control of the Ganges Delta, won at Plassey, shortly received imperial legitimacy when Shah Alam granted Diwani of Bengal to the English East India Company in 1765. Gradually, the Nizamat and the treasury were shifted from Murshidabad to Kolkata. In 1775, the Supreme Court of Kolkata declared that the Nawab of Bengal had no sovereign power.
अलीवर्दी खां के मरने के बाद उनके जो डॉटर सन थे सिराजुद्दौला, उनके साथ बैटल ऑफ प्लासी होने के बाद यहाँ पर ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी का कब्जा हुआ और ईस्ट इंडिया कंपनी यहाँ पर राज शुरू किया। 1765 में उनको पूरी दीवानी वो लोग मुगल से ले चुके थे।
To preserve the glorious tradition of Nawabi rule in Murshidabad, Nawab Nazim Humayun Jah built between 1829 and 1837 the magnificent Hazar-Duari Palace.
के खानदान से और एक के बाद एक लोग नवाब होते रहे। ये सिलसिला 1829 तक चला। उस वक्त बंगाल, बिहार, उड़ीसा के नवाब थे नवाब नाजिम हुमायूं जा, मिर्ज़ा जाफ़र के 5वें पुष्प में से थे, 5th जनरेशन में से थे। उन्होंने ये हज़ारदुआरी पैलेस को उन्होंने बनवाया था।
This impressive building is 3-storied and comprises 50 halls and galleries with more than 1,000 real and false stores, and hence the name Hazarduari. The collection in this palace includes arms and weapons, oil paintings, costumes, records and firmans, etc., mostly belonging to the 18th and 19th centuries. After Plassey, the center of activity moved from river Bhagirathi to river Hooghly, where Kolkata was on the way to emerge as capital of Bengal, Bihar and Orissa. In a span of 100 years since its existence, Kolkata was well on the road to transform from a city of swamps to a city of palaces. It grew far beyond the confines of commerce. One look at Kolkata and one can only ponder over how a settlement where Chanakya landed with 30 soldiers became the springboard for the expansion of the empire. New buildings housing the company offices and its officials came up following the European style. Many of such buildings till today, particularly the Governor House, the Big Pond, Lal Dighi and the Writers' Buildings remind us of the legacy of the British Raj. With the establishment of the company as a territorial ruler in Bengal, it became a more formidable instrument of British imperialist expansion. From Bengal, the company gradually moved to other parts of India. The Nawabs of Awadh, the Nizams of Hyderabad, Hyder Ali and Tipu Sultan of Mysore, the Marathas, the Sikhs of Punjab, and many more ultimately had to surrender before the might and the trick of the British. fair or foul, the end justified the means for the British. Thus, by the mid-19th century, the English East India Company emerged as the undisputed ruler of India, while 2/5 of India's territory remained independent under the local rulers. However, the process of acquisition of Indian territory was not without opposition. Even before the major popular uprising against the British Raj in 1857, a number of popular uprisings spreading over various parts of India testify to the general ferment against the British Raj. One such uprising was against British agent Debi Singh, who was appointed to collect revenue from Dinajpur and Rangpur. Debi Singh's forceful collection of revenues compelled the passive and submissive cultivators to rise in arms. Soldiers were called in to crush the uprising, followed by cruel executions. Mr. Goodlad, the English chief of the district, described the rising as the greatest and the most serious disturbance which had ever happened in Bengal. The Mughals retained their high-sounding titles and their throne in Delhi. But after the revolt of 1857, the Mughal Emperor Bahadur Shah II was sent to exile in Rangoon. The emperor's power now remained confined within the walls of Red Fort in Delhi. With the decline of the Mughal authority, Kolkata emerged as the real center of political power in India. In 1858, the British Crown directly took over the company officials, the administration of the British Empire in India, and Kolkata became the capital of the British Indian Territory.